What's up, YouTube and Wrestling Universe? I'm back with a review of the Impact Plus event, A Night You Can't Miss. This event took place Saturday, June the 8th, 2019. I watched it live, however, I'm just now getting around to posting the review. The return of the great Muta, for those who don't know. We start off with Melissa Santos as our ring announcer and Kid Ref as the referee. OVE come out and they are facing the Rascals in six-man action. This was a decent opening. The crowd wasn't really into it, but the Rascals wound up getting the win. We hype up Slammiversary, and then Jimmy Jacobs interviews Michael Elgin in the back. Of course, Johnny Impact walks in to get the spotlight. Next matchup is Moose versus Luchasaurus, and the crowd is pretty much behind Luchasaurus. The beginning of the match is like a cruiserweight match in slow motion with both big men showing their agility. Moose does something where he puts his hand down his pants and he wants to put it in Luchasaurus' face. And this is my first time seeing Moose do this. I don't understand what it is with the Joey Ryan influence on wrestlers. I hope this doesn't become the next thing in wrestling. This match actually goes longer than I expected, and it was a better match than expected as well. Moose winds up winning with a spear. We get an OVE promo and Sami Callihan's mad. We also get a Back to the Future reference and OVE is taken over. Back to the ring, there's a short pause before Clayton Gaines is introduced with two women, and he's facing Guido from ECW, aka Nunzio. I honestly was going to skip this match, but I was intrigued, so I let it play. Good action, fast-paced match that is definitely needed after the last match. Nunzio is outside the ring with Gaines' girls, and at this point I notice he's wearing Nunzio tights. Gaines botches a super kick to the back of the head, and the crowd lets him know about it. I honestly was bored with the match pretty quick. It was basically power of Gaines versus the speed of Guido. Guido winds up pulling off the win. We then get a Willie Mack promo in the back with the House of Hardcore Television Championship. Next up for the Knockouts Championship, we have Jordynne Grace versus Taya Valkyrie. There's a lot of Johnny Bravo interference, but this was a pretty good match. However, the crowd again doesn't seem that into it. I'm starting to wonder if it's because this is a House of Hardcore crowd watching the Impact stars they don't normally watch. Bravo pulls out the referee when Jordynne Grace seems to have the win. Grace winds up getting hit with a chair when fighting Bravo for it. It almost seemed like Bravo meant to pass the chair to Taya, and it just didn't make it into the ring. However, Taya retains because of this. In the back, we have a guy with a cat, and it turns out to be Teddy Hart, promising a 5-star match with Swan and Mac for the House of Hardcore Championship. Here, Melissa Santos has issues with her microphone, which Twitch users will find a normal thing during Impact streams. Teddy Hart comes out with a different cat, and this is my first time seeing Teddy Hart, so this match actually has my attention. I'm assuming that Teddy Hart will get the championship since he's the only person in this match not on the Impact roster, and I haven't seen Willie Mack with the championship before watching this match. It may just be me, but the match seemed to be a Teddy Hart showcase most of the time until the end where we get Swan and Mac going back and forth. Teddy Hart's back in the action, and Willie Mack winds up retaining after a stunner with a 6-star frog splash. This winds up being my favorite match of the event so far. Next up is Sami Callihan versus Eddie Edwards in a Philadelphia street fight. We have a black bat versus the kendo stick. Sometime during this match I expected to see the Legos. We start with both men going through separate pieces of plywood in the corner. They then fight to the outside, and we get various weapons involved, including the ECW Championship. Sami Callihan has a symbolic moment when he takes the NXT Championship out of the crowd and spits on it and throws it on the ground, and then he does a suck it chops. Later back in the ring, Callihan literally knocked Edwards out of his boot. This match is both entertaining and disgusting at the same time, and the crowd is finally into it, which makes the match even better. Madman Fulton winds up coming out, followed by Sandman to even the odds and chase Fulton back to the back with a kendo stick. Sami Callihan winds up sneaking a win with a roll-up in the tights after ducking a swing with the kendo stick. Next up, we have Joey Ryan coming out to the ring as the crew cleans up, and he's supposed to be facing Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn apparently has travel issues. D'Lo Brown says the match will be rescheduled, and instead D'Lo Brown is forced to touch it, and we get that dumb Honestly, I would have skipped this if it was anything more than a short segment. This was bad enough. Next, we have a Tommy Dreamer promo in the back, and it's time for the main event. Tommy Dreamer and the Great Muta versus Johnny Impact and Michael Elgin. Taya is also out with Johnny. The match starts with Michael Elgin and Tommy Dreamer. Something seems to be happening in the crowd, and it takes the attention of everyone. The crowd chants, and Johnny Impact moons someone in the crowd, and then the crowd chants, kick him out. So I assume there's a member of the audience being disruptive. Tommy Dreamer cuts an in-ring promo on the fan and then introduces Muta into the match to face off with Johnny Impact. It seems like the fan finally gets dejected and the audience sing goodbye. Dreamer tells the Great Muta to hold on, and then he drops a Great Muta elbow, followed by Great Muta dropping an elbow of his own. On a side note, Tommy Dreamer needs to lose the polka dots. I understand it's a sign of respect to Dusty, but Dreamer's legs look a lot more like Sapphire than Dusty Rhodes. Johnny Bravo comes in and gets laid out by Tommy Dreamer. Tommy later uses the ECW Championship across Impact's head and then gets a table. Dreamer driver on Johnny Impact through Michael Elgin, with both of them going through the table. Taya low blows Tommy Dreamer in the ring, grabbing the Ultimate X to hand to Johnny. Red mist to Johnny, green mist for Elgin, and a Shining Wizard. We get water mist from Dreamer to Taya. Taya gets a cutter from Dreamer, and then a kick to Johnny Impact from the Great Muta for the win. Great match. We get thank you Tommy chants as Tommy has the microphone and talks about work ethic, leading up to saying that the Great Muta is welcome to the House of Hardcore anytime. This wasn't a bad event. I believe it started off a little slow but improved as time went on with each match. I think the audience could have been a big part in that. However, it's not necessarily how good or bad the matches were. It wasn't really a must-see event, but it was nice seeing the Great Muta. I would say if you want to watch the best of the show, it was definitely the last 3 matches, excluding the Joey Ryan stuff. Luchasaurus and Moose would probably be the surprise match of the night. Guys, did anyone else see a night you can't miss? What were your thoughts and opinions of the show? Please leave comments and feedback and tell me what you thought below. And I'll be back with more videos. Thank you for being here.